Hi guys, I hope you all are well. Welcome back to the channel. It's me, your girl, SUBI. Listen, I'm still trying to work on my intro. This is the 5th time that I have tried to record this intro. I'm so glad that you guys are here. It's your girl, SUBI. If this is your first time clicking on my channel, I need to stop clapping because it's not a parade. If this is your first time clicking on my channel or on one of my videos, I'm so glad that you took the time today to come into my space and use some of your time and spend it on me. So if you're first time here, go ahead and click subscribe and the bell button somewhere here. I still haven't got it down pat. So you can join the family and don't miss a video from me. Videos are few and far between, but baby, we are doing our best, okay? Long awaited, long postponed, long promised flight attendant Q&A video. I asked for these questions, I think last year around this time. I was in Madrid and I asked for these questions again last week. So I'm filming the video now. It's a compilation of both of those questions and I asked them on Instagram. So these are a bunch of questions that you all sent in. If you guys are from Instagram, from the fam, tell people down below in the comment box that it's lit down there, okay? Come from YouTube, come to my Instagram. I'm there basically every single day. Workouts, daily life, eating, not eating, sleeping, living my life, my flight attendant life as well, even in the pandemic. So before I even go through all this, let me grab my smoothie. And let's dive into these questions. Before I get into anything, you all know that I'm a flight attendant. I have been flying with a major US airline for, I'm going into my 3rd year right now. So going into my 3rd year, you know, global pandemic happened. I took a few months off and now I'm back and still kind of taking time off here and there, to be completely honest. Let me get to these questions because I feel like I'm just gonna say everything before I answer you guys' questions. So let's do it. First question, what was the application process like and did your degree prepare you for it? I went to school for international affairs and French. I really thought I was gonna be in some sort of diplomacy, working with the UN, something very distinguished with a suit. You know, I was seeing myself in a position of power. But unfortunately and fortunately, that's not how things went. The application process was, it gets getting harder. For me, I think it was 4 steps. The first step was just that your application, you gave in your resume, you did like a questionnaire that was like 75 or 85 questions. It was so long. That was the first step. The second step was a pre-recorded interview that I did over the phone. So basically, the airline hired someone else, another company, to vet these interviews that were sent in. So basically they gave us a series of questions and you had to dress up in professional wear, and like I'm talking to the screen right now, you had to basically tell them why you wanted the job, answer all the questions, and then you sent that in. And if that company liked it, they referred you to the airline, and then the airline invited me to do a phone interview where they asked me some more questions, why I wanted to do the job, tried to trip me up. And then the last level after the phone interview was a face-to-face interview, and that's golden. That basically means that your foot is in the door or you're looking at the door. And I went in and there were a bunch of people there and we were all in our suits and we were all rah rah rah, we love this airline, I'm trying to get this job, and I got it. So that's how I became a flight attendant 2 years ago. After your face-to-face interview, you get something called a CJO, which is a conditional job offer. You go to training and they give you a training date. You go to training after you've passed background checks, etc. And after that point, you go through training and there's a certain average that you have to have on each There's a certain average that you have to have on each test. Yes, we were tested weekly, sometimes daily, depending on the week. And if you don't meet that average, or if you run through any problems, drama, etc., to throw you out the program, then you lose your job offer at that point on. And that's why it's called a conditional job offer, because it can be taken from you at a moment's notice. Was training scary? No, I really started training. I started training 3 days after I graduated from university, so I got very, very lucky. It was 8 weeks long, and there were a bunch of things that we had to know. Emergency and medical training that we had to go through. We had to learn every single aircraft, how it worked, how to operate the doors, things like that, and that took 8 weeks. And for me, it wasn't really that bad, simply because I had just come out of a setting that was heavily reliant on me studying. But one thing that was difficult for me was the photographic memory part of it, because you really have to visualize the aircraft and visualize certain situations in order for you to be successful in training, in order for you to go on into the job. So yes, training was daunting. Was it scary? No. Was it challenging? Yes. Is it doable? Yes, anybody can do it. Obviously, you have to be able-bodied. There are some things you have to accomplish on the aircraft. You have to be able to really be that person in the case of an emergency, because we don't just serve Cokes and cookies up there, baby. There are a lot of things that you really have to internalize, and I don't think people think about that. They think about, oh my gosh, you get to travel the world and you get to see all these people and you get to do all these things, and I want to do that too, honey. The road to get here was cute. It's only as easy as you make it as well. So take that as you will, and cheers if you want to try out. Are there different rankings or potential growth in the flight attendant hierarchy? Yes, you can be a regular flight attendant who just works domestic. Every flight attendant after they've done with training, because you do have to have a viable passport. Everyone's qualified to work international flights. Everyone's qualified to work domestic flights, long haul, short haul. Doesn't matter, everyone's qualified. What everyone's not qualified to do is the leadership positions. There's something called the purser on international flights, and that's a completely different training that you have to go through once you're in the company for a certain amount of years, a total other application process with different steps. That's one thing for purser. And then also is language qualifications. So on the France flights, on the German flights, on the flights that go to Nice, you know, there are always flight attendants that speak the language. I think the minimum is 2, depending on the aircraft. Oh, there are also opportunities for flight attendants within the flight attendant position to be brand ambassadors. These are the people that you see in the safety video, or you'll see people wearing the uniform. You'll see people in the pictures, like in the ads. Those are flight attendants, real people who are working the job, who are representing the company in that way. I haven't really thought about doing that, but I don't think that's for me. I think if I don't think that's for me. Typical work day, how does your schedule work? So now, as you all know, I've already flown 2 years in the company, so my seniority is looking pretty sweet. Without everything that's going on right now, typically it takes maybe 2 or 3 years for you to really see some differences in your schedule. But basically, everyone gets scheduled the minimum the same thing, around 45 hours per month, and then 6 days on call, which are called A days. And basically these days are set in place to help balance the operation. If a flight attendant calls out, somebody on A days or somebody on call would take that flight attendant's place and fill it in so that the flight could go out. So that's basically what we get scheduled to do. I can move things around as I'd like, and anybody really can, as long as you know people. You could trade shifts. I wouldn't call them shifts. If I was working a Paris trip and the time to sign in didn't work for me, I can ask somebody who's working Dakar to switch with me. They would never switch with me because the Dakar layover is chef's kiss. But you can ask basically anybody anything to switch, and if they say yes, then it's a go. If not, then you have to work what you work. I definitely can't answer all of these because this is a lot. I really thought it was going to be shorter than this. But how long can a shift last? Depends on the flight. So if I'm working a flight from New York to LA, but transcontinental flights usually run about 5 hours or 4 hours and some change there and back, depending on which direction you're going. So that's basically how my day would go. I would go to the flight in the morning. I would have to report an hour before the flight actually goes out, and then they'd close the door, flight would go into the air, 5 hours in the air, maybe. So it just depends on the flight. Do you fly out of every airport or only specific states? So as I already mentioned before, I live in Atlanta right now. I'm a commuter, which means that I have another base that I work out of. Currently right now I work out of New York. And so New York services 3 airports right now: Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK. I'm only flying out of JFK because that's my preference. So I only like to fly out of JFK, though I can fly out of LaGuardia or Newark if I'd like in terms of working. Also, I can pick up trips out of other airports. So if there's a Seattle trip I like Seattle flies a lot of the Asia flights, Detroit flies a lot of the Asia flights, Korea, Tokyo, things, I could pick that up. If I see that it's available, I can literally take it in order for me to work if it's available for the taking. So yes, I can fly out of different airports in different states. Are heels required part of your uniform? And if so, how do you go all day in them? Girl. When I first started, I used to wear these heels that made me feel so good. It lifted the booty and my legs were super long and my dress went down past my knees and it was just very slim and pencil looking, and I just felt very tall and beautiful in them. According to the rules, you only have to wear your heels in and out of the concourse or in and out of the airport. So when you're on the plane, you don't, if you ever get a chance, next time you're on a flight, take a look down to see what the flight attendants, the women, I mean, are wearing on their shoes, on their feet, because you're really gonna see black flats, loafers, or yeah, flats or loafers, because nobody can work an 8-hour, a 6-hour, a 3, even a 2-hour flight in heels. You can. I've done it before when I've forgotten my onboard shoes or my plane shoes, but you do not want to do that. So no, they are not required part of the uniform, because if you wear the uniform that has a suit, like if you wear the suit uniform, obviously you don't have to wear heels. You can wear loafers, and I look pretty damn good in that suit. So yeah, I just wear loafers now because can you imagine 5, 6, 8, 10, 13, 30 years in heels? Your feet are gonna be super ugly, and I like the way my feet look, so I'm not doing that, girl. No ma'am, not here. So uniform, we get a couple of choices. There are 2 different dresses, and there's a suit. Oh, 2 different dresses, 2 different suits. So a V-neck dress, a dress that kind of swoops towards your neck. There's another suit it's a suit with a skirt, and then a suit with pants, but they all come with the same accessories. But yeah, typically those are the options. Oh, and there's a cute turtleneck that you could wear in the winter. Oh, it's so cute. It's a mock neck, and then it goes down to like a little bit past your shoulders, and then if you wear with the vest, and then there's a scarf, you know, the silk flight attendant scarf, baby. You look really good in that, okay? And I know I do. Let's move on to the next section, layovers. When you are traveling for work, 24-hour plus layover, does the company pay for your accommodations? Yes. A layover is when you actually leave the airport and you go to a hotel and you stay there either for 10 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours plus, depending. Yes, the company does pay for our hotel. They pick the hotel, but there's also a job or a opportunity as a flight attendant. You could be on the, I don't know what it's called. Is it the layover accommodation choosing team? I'm not sure. But basically these are the people that vet the hotels and choose, like, this is what we like. Typically the hotels that we're around with the layover is more than 15 hours. We're gonna be somewhere closer to the city center. And that's typically so flight attendants can have somewhere to basically do something and have a good time, whether we go shopping, have somewhere to eat, etc. But that's always kept in mind when they choose our hotels. When it's less than 15 hours, it's somewhere closer to the airport, I believe. So yeah. Hi. How much do you actually get to, how much time do you actually get to explore the countries? So every trip that's transoceanic or international, I would suppose you would call it. So transoceanic is Pacific or Atlantic Ocean. So going to Europe, going to Africa, going to South America, those kinds of trips, you get 24 hours. So use them how you'd like. Sleeping, oh my gosh, I remember one time, no, I'm not even gonna get into that. But yes, you get 24 hours. How do you stay motivated to explore a new city even when you're so jet lagged? Okay, so I guess I can tell the story. One time, I worked a trip to London and I came back home and I had, I think, 4 or 5 days off. But something popped up in the system, a trip to Greece popped up in the system for someone to work. And I'd never been to Greece before. And I wanted to go to Greece so badly. And while I hadn't had that much time to rest, I told myself that I would sleep during the day and then go to my flight and be fine. Of course, I'm a commuter, so I had to go earlier, which means that I didn't sleep. The flight was like 9 hours long, and oh my goodness, I was so tired. When I tell you I was tired, we had our crew rest. We had our time that, you know, we're allotted to sleep on international flights. We had our crew rest. I was still tired. I couldn't go to sleep on the plane for some reason that day. And then when it was time for the layover, we were in Greece. I was so excited. I had planned out this whole itinerary, places that I wanted to go. And I got to the room and I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna take a little nap and I'm going to wake up in time for me to go out. Ask me what time I woke up. In Athens, Greece, of all places for me to be sleeping the entire day, I woke up at 7 p.m. I woke up at 7 p.m. and I woke up 20 minutes before it was time to go out with my crew for dinner. When I tell you, I was so disappointed in myself. That was the only time that jet lag really got me. And it's never happened past that point because I learned my lesson the hard way. Next set of questions. What are some pet peeves that people do on a plane ride? Oh my gosh. I could go on and on about this. Passengers that pack bags but don't even know how to lift them into the overhead bin. When you pack a bag and you're a passenger, please, I beg of you, do not expect the flight attendant to put that bag into the overhead bin for you because that is not our job anymore. This is not Pan Am, baby, okay? And I am not the bag lady, even though I'm very good and it's very cute when I put the bags into the overhead bin. It's really not our job, and actually it states within the requirements that it's our job to assist, not to physically lift them and throw them in there. Now, I don't have a problem assisting and putting bags into the overhead bin. That's not my quarrel. My problem is passengers who fill their bags up to the brim, to the breaking point. You know you can't lift your item into the overhead bin, right? You get to the gate and the gate agent says, ladies and gentlemen, we are checking bags for free for the free ski, which means that it's $0.99, baby, $0. And they are offering you to check your bag for free to your final destination. That means you don't have to pull it through the airport. That means you don't have to lift it into the overhead bin. Literally taken off your hands for you. But no, nobody wants to do that. They want to bring their bags into the aircraft, into the plane, and look at me and say, I can't lift my bag. And I'm gonna say, ooh, I can't either. I would love to check it to your final destination because if I get into an injury, the flight can't go out, and that would just be unfortunate for all of us, and then everybody would hate you. So, no. If you can't lift it, you need to check it, okay? Okay. People who come onto the plane and ask for outlandish requests. I love going above and beyond because that's my middle name. I want someone to go above and beyond for me. What I'm not gonna do is ask something outlandish. No. People who come onto the plane and they don't have closed-toed shoes. I've always hated that. I don't even know if that's a pet peeve. That's a pet peeve when I'm a passenger. That's a pet peeve when I'm a flight attendant. Do you know what's going on with, the carpet that you're placing your toes on, and then people who put their feet on the armrests of people in front of them. Oh, it's nasty. Oh my gosh, no. Because I remember there was one time this man literally came on. He had shoes on, so I was like, cool, he got shoes, you know, everyone got shoes on. He took his foot out of his shoe. He took his foot out of the sock that was in the shoe. He took off his sock, and then he proceeded to put his foot on the armrest of the person in front of him. First of all, how rude. Second of all, how nasty. Nobody wanna eat. And if I can smell it from the aisle, and if I can see a passenger uncomfortable, I will tap you on the shoulder and say, sir, unfortunately, that's making the passenger in front of you comfortable. We would all really appreciate it if you placed your foot back in your sock and back in your shoe. Thank you. Do crew members have signals that they give to one another? No, this is not the FBI agent squad of 40,000 feet in the air. Turbulence. Yes, there is turbulence. No, it does not bother me. Actually, I love turbulence. Some people hate it. I don't hate it. Can you sleep on the plane? Yes, we have times during longer haul flights, like flights to Europe, flights to South America, flights to Africa, where we actually sleep in the plane. There's actually a part in the plane where we go underneath it and we have like these bunk beds and things and we sleep in it, and it's called crew rest. So yes, we do that. Celebrity sightings, yes. Tiana Taylor, Iman Shumpert, Tory Lanez. Oh my gosh, my favorite passenger of all time, Angela Bassett. She was She's so bad, shorter than you would think, but she's bad. I loved her. She was a great passenger. How bad is the plane food? Be honest. The plane food is not that bad, to be completely honest. It's just full of sodium, so sometimes I pack my own food. No, most of the times I pack my own food because I really can't rely on what's on the plane, especially knowing that there are health goals that I have in mind. I just can't be eating whatever. We're going into the random bit of things. Have you ever felt discriminated against from either passenger or a fellow employee? How did you handle it? Thanks be to God that hasn't happened to me outright to my face, but as a woman, I have been inappropriately touched. Please don't touch the flight attendants, and please be respectful because we are people too, and even though we're in the service industry, we don't have to serve. We refuse the right to serve anybody, especially if you make us uncomfortable. So when in doubt, the answer is no. Personal life and relationships. These questions, I had to vet some of these questions because you guys are very nosy. It's cool to be inquisitive, it's cool to ask questions, but some of these questions were a little too personal, but I will answer some of them. I'll pick 3. Do you ever get lonely while traveling? Yeah, sometimes I do. I solo traveled a lot before the job, and I solo travel a lot now because people's schedules just aren't that flexible, and that's okay. But there have been so many times where I've thought to myself, you know, I know my friends would really love doing this. It would be really cool for this to be a vacation, you know, but I'm not sitting in a hotel crying about it because, to be honest, life is for living, and if you're not living it, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Is it hard to have a relationship? You would have to ask somebody who has one because I don't have one of those. I'm a free agent, okay? Have you ever gotten asked out on the plane? Yes, I have. I have stories. I'm not even gonna get into that, but yes, I have. I don't believe in dating my passengers. That's just a personal rule that I've made for protection of myself and also just because I said so. And how has this career helped you grow as a person? I am a lot different than I was when I first started. Obviously, a lot more grown. I'm 2 years wiser, and I have learned that even, especially when it comes to relationships, it takes a very secure person to befriend, to fall in love with, and to be with somebody who's in this career on both ends. So if you are somebody who is going to be missing home, there are people who went through training and quit like a year into the job because they missed home so much. It takes a strain on you, so you have to be prepared, you have to be ready, you have to be very secure in yourself. And that goes for people who want to date or be with people within this profession. There are going to be days out of the year where I can't be there for birthdays. I've missed so many important moments, and that really took a toll on me the first year, but I really had to buck up and realize that if everybody could do it, everybody would be doing it, and everybody can't. So I really had to step out within myself and tell myself, you know, the good outweighed the bad, and that's how I really made it through the first year. Anything could happen. You know, I could be in Greece, like running around, and I could be at the Ice Capades one day, and the next day I could be in Reykjavik climbing a glacier. You know, you never know. All that goes to say is that I've learned a lot being a flight attendant. I've learned how to be more secure within myself, definitely loads more confident, and yeah, I've learned a lot of things about the people around you. Your circle will get a lot smaller when you become a flight attendant. My circle was already small. Actually, mine got bigger because my circle was very, very closed and tight-knit, and now I know people from all around the world, not just within my job, but people who I've met, and I'm so grateful for that. I will never stop saying thank you for the opportunities that this job has afforded me. And yeah. So my smoothie is done, the questions are answered, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit a like down below if you did like it, and leave a comment down below for what question surprised you the most, or any other question that you may have for me about the flight attendant lifestyle. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and hit the bell button down below next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss a video from me and get notifications when I post. Wish you all a good rest of your day, and I hope to be doing videos a lot like this very, very soon. See you all in my next video. Bye.